Hi everybody, this is Constance with Termy Custom Crafts, and by the time I get this up, this is for my swap for the ATC cards that we had on my page that Nancy hosted, or hostesses. Anyway, this may be more than one video, I don't know, I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants. I have already made 5 of them. And I'm going to show you 5 because the ones here are going to slightly change. But I want to show you these. Super stinking cute. And they're not just any, because I have to put my logo on the back yet. They're not just any of them. I'm going to show you one here. Plus the battery's dying, so we'll see how much it goes. This isn't just any card. This is a double slider. So my little ghosts pop out to say boo. So these were mine. I will do them all at one time. It's sticky. So you can't even tell that they're there. It's super cute. But I wanted to show how to make this. So what I did is I used several punches. I used the EK Little Pumpkin Punch. And I used the Corner Spider Punch from Martha Stewart. The Quarter Ghost Punch. The big one on the spider, and I think it's Mari Carvey, scalloped. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do this, and you're going to see all the stuff that you're going to use here. But what I did, and I'm going to make it a little quicker, I ended up taking a piece of purple. And the ATC cards are artist trading cards, if you're wondering what they are. In other words, it's your signature of your style of art. And you trade it, since like collecting friends, collecting baseball cards. And I used a purple piece, and I cut them. They size down to 2.5 by 3.5 inches, just like a normal baseball card. So what I ended up doing is that I corner punched each one of the corners with the spider web. So that's how I got my corners. So I have 5 of these left that we're going to do this, and you're going to need, again, this is 2.5 by 3.5, and then I used this punch on the corners. So I needed that, and then, oh, I just misplaced, no I didn't, it's right here. Then I needed a piece of paper to go around it, and since it's 2.5 inches wide, I decided to go with the damask. I went with this. It's from TPC Studio. Girlfriend's Brocade is what they call this one. So I love the damask with it, and Halloween's always great for damask. So I took a sheet, like I need to do right here. And since it is 2.5 by 2.5 by 3.5, I ended up cutting them, I believe, at 2 inches. So let's see if I can get this cut here. Again, this is flying by the seat of my pants prepping. Let me see. Oh, let me go the other way because it's going me to cut the border off. I set it up here so I can pull up on you. Let me turn it around. Okay. So I ended up cutting the strips actually at 2 inches. Of what I used to wrap around it, because I had to take an account of the corners. So it's 2.5, but the corners take about 1/4 of an inch each. So I'm gonna cut a couple of these actually, just in case I screw up on air, so I have a backup piece. Guys, you know you gotta love me. So this is how I worked it, and you know you could do exact measurements, but depending on what you're working on. So that's the reason why I'm a little screwed up right now. So I always take it because it can change on measurements. So I always take it, and you're going to see how much you're going to need for width-wise, because you can see how it will fit with the corner punch. So that's how I got. Okay, it's 2.5 inches or 3.5 inches long. 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, but it works out. Don't ask me how I figured this out, but it works out to where this is 2 inches wide. And so I had to sit and figure out where I was going to score it at. So what I did, because it'll vary to do a slider, depending on what project. So I always went just a little bit farther out because it's actually 2 inches, but I went to 2 and just an eighth. So I'm going to do it an eighth here. And then, let me make sure. Do not want to screw this up. So you can see that. If you always want to cover your back, just keep going like that. So we're going to go with 2 1/2 or 2 1/4 again. And just keep wrapping it so that you guys can understand this. And then we're going to do it one more time in the same location. And then I went up to the 3 mark and did it again there. So now I have 3 folds, and what I did is I cut right here. I cut this right off because you don't need scrap paper. Pretty paper on the inside with the paisley, huh? So now you have to fold in, and then you got your, it's almost like a matchbook design. So what you do is you take your, if I can find it, I need the scoreboard again for now. If I could find it, strong tape. Okay, here it is. My strong tape, or the orange tape as some of you call it. If I can get it here. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be more than one video, at least 2. Maybe 3. And then you just strap it across it. Depending on how wide or what size of project, you may have to do double wide. But for this project, I only needed to do 1 strip. So now that you have this piece, what I did is to pretend that this piece was already here. Like it's a part of it. Don't act like it's not a part of it, because otherwise it'll screw you up with how you do it. So I just made it a part of the paper. And then what I did is I pulled it up, kind of measured it out, and laid it down. So now it looks like it's a part of the paper, like it was meant to be. So the next thing you're going to need, and I need my scoreboard again, is, if I can find it, a Ziploc bag, because it's going to be your slider part. And you just need to slide off a little sliver of it. I still got my Modern Warfare stuff on it here. And you just slice off a small, say, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch section. And this is what you need right here, is that piece that you just cut off. So there's that part. And then you take the ends right here and you snip it off. Super simple. And you snip off the other side because it'll mess with you. So that's how you're going to do that. And then you're going to put it wrapped in here. See? It helps to have this piece of paper here so you can see what I'm doing. And then you're going to put a little bit of tape here. Use a glue dot if you want. And maybe a snail would have been better for this part. But now when you put it over, make sure that it's not like super tight. Because if it's super tight, then your mechanism's not going to move. Just so you know that. Because if you're going to make your little sliders, if you guys are watching, okay, so if there's any excess, cut it off. Okay, so it's in there, so you guys can see this. You can also slide it out if there's any tape, see? Okay, so that part's ready. So the next thing you need is you need to get this paper ready. And this paper is what I use for the ghost, and I believe, let me double check this. It's 2 inches by 2 1/2 inches. So I need to cut one more piece. Actually, I'm like, this is a really bad piece of paper to use as an example. I always try to use my scraps up. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm cutting this off air. I didn't want to mess with the, and then I'm going to cut it because I have one there. I have to cut it, make it even, guys, because it's not even. Okay, now 2 1/2 inches, because I just cut the 2.